Hello everyone. My daughter and her boyfriend went fishing last night and they caught me this nice big carp, and they also had caught a catfish, which I'd already cleaned the catfish. But I'm going to demonstrate the best I can on how to clean this carp. Carp's considered a trash fish, but they're actually good eating. And I'm going to go and give you a demonstration of how I clean them. What you first want to do is on this high spot on its back. The scales and stuff are pretty hard on this, so but you want to kind of get a spot cut right here on the high spot of its back right there. And then what you're going to do is run your fillet knife just underneath the edge of the skin. I'll lay this down. Maybe I can do it better. Run your fillet knife underneath the edge of the skin, down along this dorsal fin. The scales are really tough. Like I said, I'm no pro at this. I've done it a few times, and it helps if you got a really sharp knife. This fillet knife's getting a little dull, but you don't want to go very deep. Just get that skin cut. You don't want to cut down the meat if you can help it. I'm going to do this all the way to the tail fin. Get that skin cut. Kind of like so. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. That might be easier for me standing it up. If I was left-handed, it'd work better, but for this other side. Their scales are hard. And like I said, if this knife was sharper, it might work a little better. If this other knife's a little sharper, it might not be. Oh yeah, that's sharper. Okay. Need to grab my pliers. Okay, now what you want to do is tear out this dorsal fin. Okay, and you see I got the dorsal fin tore out. Slippery when wet, I tell you. Lots of times people cut a slit in there and get them guts out beforehand. Always want to try and cut from the underside. The scales are dull your knife really fast. Cut all the way back to the vent hole, like so. Now what I do is I get up here, get started underneath the skin, and cut that skin, get underneath the scales. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get a hold of that skin with your pliers and peel it off. And you get quite underneath it, I don't think. There I did. And there's one side, one piece of the skin. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the other side. Just be careful not to cut yourself. Get hold of the skin. You don't want to cut too far down because then you cut into the meat, which that's what I'm starting to do. I went too far down underneath the skin. See if I can get it, otherwise I'm going to pull a bunch of the meat off. Try and get started down here. See how I started tearing that meat away from the bone? Those are rib bones. You don't want to do that. So I start at the bottom and I'll save it here. I'll rip upward and then back. There you go. See, I didn't rip all that meat off the bones. And there you have the other skin. Now I'm going to cut this. Try and cut this. Snap off the head. Take out the guts. And there you have your carp. I'm gonna go wash this up And I'll be back and I'll show you how to finish cleaning this. You gotta score it. I'll show you what they mean by scoring it. Okay everyone, as you can see I cleaned it up and I'm going to teach you how to score these now. This is the process, preparing the fish so when you actually cook it, it cooks up all the bones, because there's 2 sets of Y bones in this back section right here from about basically here on. There's a set down here and a set down here on both sides, you know, the Y bones. And then up here, these are rib bones. And then there's 1 set of Y bones going right across here. So what you want to do is you want to score it. And I'll show you what I mean by scoring. I think I'm going to use my electric filleting knife for this process. But first I'm going to discard this tail. I'm going to cut this off. Try to with one of these dull knives. Okay, got rid of the tail. Now when you score these, what it is you're going to be cutting down through both sets of bones through the meat, like 1/4 inch strips, all the way till you feel it hit the spinal cord bone, you know. And you're going to go clear up till about here. It'll be cut strips like this. And then when you get up here, then you only got to do this top part above the ribs. Here's the ribs. So then you got to cut down through there and score it through there. You'll do this on both sides. So I'll show you the process of that. And that's all there is to it. That's what they call scoring a carp. Now all them little bones are only that long. As long as, however width of this that you cut. As you can see, there's slits all the way down. So that cut through those bones. If you stick your fingers in there, you'll feel them bones. On both sides, the little tiny bones now, you cut them in 2. Well, when you cook this, I'll cut this in sections, which I'll show you here in a minute, but when you cook it, you definitely want to get your flour mixture or cornmeal mixture down in between each one of these. Get it breaded really good so they don't stick together like this. Because if they stick together like that, when you cook them, it don't cook them bones up, and then you'll feel them bones when you're eating them, you'll choke on them. You want to get cornmeal, flour, whatever. I just use seasoned flour. I just take regular flour and season it really good, and I make sure I get it down in between each one of them cracks. That way when you put it in your hot grease about just a little over 350 degrees, when you put it down in the hot grease, that grease goes down in between each one of these cuts. And that way it gets into the meat and cooks them bones up. When you eat it, you don't even know them bones are in there. If that grease is hot and you got it floured where the heat can get down in there. Right there you can see little bones. Right there's one of those little Y bones. I could actually pull it out. There's a piece of one right there. But the hot grease will cook them up as long as you get your flour down in between each one of them. Well, I'm going to get this other side scored and I'll show you how I cut them up. Okay, now that I got this scored, I got this scored on both sides, as you can see. Now what I usually do is this tail section. You can actually cut it in smaller pieces, which sometimes I'll just do one big tail section. But I don't know, sometimes I think it's better you can cut them in smaller pieces. Yeah, maybe I better use this. You cut in small pieces like that. They're easier to handle when you put them in the fryer. See how those pieces are cut clear down to the spine? That way that hot grease can get in there, cook them bones up. Sometimes these rib cage sections, they'll split them this way and just split them in half and maybe like that, so you'd have 4 pieces out of this bigger fish. But I like just cutting them like sections like this all the way down through, so you have a whole rib section. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. Attempt to do on this one with this dull knife. There, I got it. Look at all that meat. That's all meat on both sides. There's a lot of meat in that piece right there. My spine's tough. There, I got it. See all that meat? There's meat clear down on these rib bones down here. That's all meat. There ain't no Y bones. It's all up the top. I had to go get the big boy. That bone's too tough. There, I got through it. I think. Usually get down through those ribs and cut them apart. There you go. And that's all there is to it. Don't look the prettiest, I guess, but it'll do. Like I said, just get flour down in between each one of them pieces, and I'll cook them Y bones up that's in there. But that's all there is to clean the fish. You got 6 nice pieces. Another one there, here, and there. Well, thanks for joining me on this video. I hope it wasn't too hard to understand on how to clean carp. And if you get a chance to catch one, give it a try. It's really good fish. See you on the next one. Don't forget I love you. Bye.